Taylor Swift not only overcame rejection, betrayal, and $1 billion payback, but she also built an empire on top of it. She went from being a girl from a small town with a guitar to a billionaire who changed the rules of the music business. Every move she made was deliberate and ahead of its time. She made her own path when record labels turned her down. When her masters were sold, she didn't fight to repurchase them. She made new ones she could own herself. When the internet came for her, she turned backlash into the biggest comeback of her career. Taylor did more than just play the game. The wildest part? Every hit she took became a calculated move. What looked like failure was fuel. Losing her music made her richer. Leaving Spotify made her stronger. And every feud turned into a $1 million marketing campaign. Here's how Taylor Swift became untouchable. In 2019, the wildest thing happened. When Taylor Swift woke up, she found that Scooter Braun's company had bought the master tapes of her first 6 albums.
Knew he would sell my music. I knew he would do that. I couldn't believe who he sold it to, because we've had endless conversations about Scooter Braun, and he has 300 million reasons to conveniently forget those conversations.
This meant that every song idea, lyric, and diary entry had been sold to Braun's company without her knowledge. The entire world believed it was simply another incident involving a famous person. For Taylor, though, it was war. The masters were more than just songs. They were her life's work, who she was, and what her brand was built on. The news quickly changed to Swift versus Braun, and artists don't own their songs. The business world thought her career was over and thought she would give up eventually, just like every other artist before her. But Taylor knew something that most singers don't. She wasn't just a performer, she was the asset. It was clear to her that the contracts, labels, and even the bosses didn't give her thorough power. It was in her story. Because of this, she did something that no one had ever done before. She turned the table over. Taylor said she would start over with all of her old albums and record them all over again. She would then release them as Taylor's versions. It sounded crazy. It took her 6 albums, hundreds of songs, and years of studio work to get back music she had already made. She was smart, but this is where it showed. Within days, Swifties, her fans, got ready to fight like an army. They didn't play the old songs and wouldn't stream anything Braun-owned. Instead, they filled playlists with the new ones. All of a sudden, the old masters were worthless, and Taylor had made a method that would keep paying her forever. The move wasn't just a show of power, it was also a battle for money. Both Fearless, Taylor's version, and Red, Taylor's version, went straight to #1 on the Billboard 200, doing better than their original versions. Each re-release was both a way to remember the original and a way to make money, turning emotional ownership into financial ownership. She turned the loss that should have ended her career into a financial masterstroke. This shows that in her world, ownership isn't a luxury, it's a way to get what you want. The crazy part is that she quit the biggest streaming platform in the world and then came back stronger than ever, just when everyone thought she couldn't make a bigger move. Nobody else in the music business had the guts to do what Taylor Swift did in 2014. In one bold move, Taylor pulled all her music off the world's biggest streaming platform overnight. Millions of songs were gone, and the news right away called it career suicide. Some people said she lost her drive. Executives talked behind her back that she would disappear without help with streaming. But Taylor wasn't responding out of emotion, she was planning ahead. At that time, Spotify's free plan let millions of users hear any song they wanted while only giving artists a few cents per play. Taylor recognized the flaw. Spotify's model devalued the very art it relied on. She thought that giving people free access to everything not only didn't pay artists enough, but it also made art less valuable. She didn't want to follow the rules, so she broke them. It was brave and smart of her to think that if everyone else was racing to the bottom, she could just change the track. It was later called an act of anti-fragility by business strategist Sinead O'Sullivan. Anti-fragility means being able to get better through chaos. In fact, Taylor did that very thing. Others were afraid of losing their exposure, but Taylor used lack as a weapon. when something gets harder to get to, people think it's worth a lot more. O'Sullivan said that her music was like a Rolex, not a Swatch, because it went from being a product to a luxury. People who liked her music but couldn't stream, it became very eager to own it, buy CDs, or see her perform live. Instead of going down, demand went up. And when she finally came back to Spotify in 2017, their numbers went through the roof. In just 1 week, they almost tripled. The suicide of a career had turned into a market takeover. She had shown that when you know what you're worth, attention comes to you instead of you going after it. The genius was more than just music sites though. Amazon does well in chaos because it controls its whole supply chain, and Taylor did the same. She writes her songs, owns the publishing rights to them, plans her tours, makes her merchandise, and distributes her movies. All of her money comes back to her company. There are no middlemen, so there is no risk. You have full power. She turned instability into order and chaos into money. The catch is that not all of her problems were business related. Some of the hardest things for her were public fights, cancellations that went viral, and the kind of internet chaos that most people have to deal with. But Taylor didn't just get through those times. She used them for financial profit. What she did next made it impossible for anyone to touch her. Do you remember the 2009 VMAs? Kanye West storms the stage, grabs the mic, and tells everyone that Beyoncé's music video was the best ever.
One of the best videos of all time.
A 19-year-old girl's career should have been over after that part on live TV, but it didn't break her. It made her stronger. After people felt sorry for her, she became 3 times as famous, going from a country singer to a worldwide star in an instant. Taylor's fans didn't just like her, they looked out for her. Every insult, news story, and joke was used for free advertising. In 2016, Kim Kardashian released the famous edited phone call. The internet said she was done. Taylor Swift Ice Over party became a worldwide trend. Everyone believed it was the end, but Taylor knew that wasn't the case. She didn't say anything for a year and let the chaos unfold. She turned the hate into a weapon instead of ignoring it. The snake, which was her biggest sign of betrayal, became her official symbol. She transformed ridicule into revenue and chaos into control. Every attack was a new story. Every scandal was a new line of products. And every cancellation was a chance to start over. That's that trick. Her career has gone like this: public attack, reinvention, viral involvement, record-breaking success. Fearless, Red, 1989, Reputation, Folklore, and Midnights are just a few of the albums that make up an age. Each one has its own style, color scheme, and story. Fans don't just hear it, they live it. Fans of Taylor Swift spend time and money on all of her products and styles, from looking like her from different eras to collecting vinyl records and other items. She seems to be in charge of 10 small brands at the same time, all part of the same global company. When she put them together for the Eras Tour, it made over $2 billion, making it the most successful tour ever. Today, Taylor Swift is a $1.6 billion force. She owns over $100 million in real estate, $600 million from her music sales, and $700 million from tours. As a CEO in heels, she turned every setback into a system, every era into a product, and every fight into free advertising. She's more than just a pop star. Taylor learned how to turn chaos into money, which shows that control is the most powerful tool there is. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of women rewriting business forever. Also, check out our previous video, The Secret Move That Made Beyoncé Borrow $100 Million.